Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. This is the day that Yah has made, and I shall rejoice and be glad in it. I hope everyone is well. It feels like it's been a long, long time since I sat in front of this camera, but Yah is good, and He is faithful. He is faithful. So I just came to share a few quick thoughts that the Most High, the Ruach HaKodesh, has put in my spirit. On Tuesday evening, as I was driving home, the Ruach brought the thoughts to my mind about the time when I gave birth to my daughter. At that time, the Ruach told me to cherish the gift, protect the seed. When I got up from anesthetics, I had a C-section. As I touched my stomach, that's what he said to me. He told me that he had given me a gift in my daughter, and that I was to take care of her for myself, or I would not know her. The Ruach also reminded me at this time, as I drove, about the time I was invited to speak to a shelter for women when my son was an infant. And he told me to tell the women if they had to run, not to leave their children, but run with their children. That their children were given to them as a blessing. And as I pulled into my driveway, all these thoughts were in my head. So I was going to just stop and do a recording then to share what was the thoughts that were in my head. It was just like a flashback, a live flashback of what some of the things that had transpired between me and my experiences with having my children, and how the Most High dealt with me. But he told me to wait. And when I woke up Wednesday morning, he gave me the topic, children are a blessing or a curse. You decide. And he gave me some scriptures. When I got to work, I checked my messages, and my sister sent me a link. When I clicked on the link, there was an article about a young man who was sentenced to death. He was given an opportunity to write one letter before he was executed, and he decided to write his mother. As I read the article, I was like, wow, and I sent a message to my sister telling her that the topic of my next video was, children are a blessing or a curse. You decide. And I shared with her that was the topic that I just gotten from the Ruach that morning. And she sent back the shock expression. And I was like, Baba, Yah is real. So I understood why the Ruach told me to wait. I am again speaking directly to women. Why? Why am I speaking directly to women? Because according to Titus 2:3-5, women should be taught to love their children and to be keepers of their home. Women should be taught to take care of their children. It is a part of the woman's responsibility to nurture and care for the children. This is not to say that the man is not to show care and love to his children, but it is a fact, and I believe it is the Most High's plan that children spend most of their time in the care of the woman or their mothers. Because we know, of course, the man was supposed to go out and provide for his family, so the only natural thing is that the woman be home taking care of the children. So I need to share, because I believe the reason the Most High, the Ruach, had me wait was because he wanted me to share the contents of the young man's letter with you, women. And some of you may have heard it, I don't know. But it goes, dear mom, If the law was fair today, you would be here seated next to me, waiting to be electrocuted in the electric chair. But since the law is blind, I have been convicted for the crimes we committed together. Mom, remember how it started? Do you remember when I was 3 years old when I stole my brother's sweets? You didn't correct me. Remember very well when I was 5, the day I stole my neighbor's toys and hid it at home? You said nothing. Mom, remember when I was 12 when I hit my cousin's ball in the garage when he had come to play with us at home and you said you didn't see it? Yet you did. Do you remember the day I was expelled from school at 15 years? Dad wanted to punish me, but you refused, and that very day you had a bitter argument with Dad because you were defending me. You said I was still young. You said the teachers were wrong to say that I was not attending class. You defended me. You said I was right, yet you knew I was wrong. Mom, remember very well, you saw me steal our neighbor's bicycle when I was 17, but you didn't report I stole it. But yes, Mom, you loved me, but you didn't correct me. Instead, you spoiled me. That is how it started, and it graduated slowly until today when I will be executed for bank robbery and murder. I was very young. I just needed your guidance, Mom. By the time you will read this, I will be gone. Yours truly, your loving son. That's the letter that was written by the young man to his mother. And it's very touching, it's very serious, and it's thought-provoking. Psalms 127:3. Lo, children are a heritage of Yah, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. The Most High gave us gifts and our children, but only your actions towards the child will determine if the child is a blessing or a curse. How you bring up your child. Children are innocent and pure from birth. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. Your job, our job as mothers, is to train our children in the right way, to give our children righteous instructions, to give them correction when they're wrong. But whatever training we give to the children or to our child, good or bad, that is the way the child will go. Proverbs 22:15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. From the time that baby is born, the character traits can be seen because the child has the DNA of both parents, and we know that. We have the baby and we say, look, and we see the baby do certain things and cry out with an attitude. And we say, boy, look at that. And recently we have been saying that, boy, these children born with these things in them. They don't understand though. They don't know. They don't understand what they're doing. But we, as parents, are to bring correction to that action as the child grows and develops. Too many times we see different actions demonstrated in our children at a tender age, and we laugh and think it's cute. Oh, that's just a child. They don't understand, we say. From a child is in the womb, the child is learning. Children are products of their environment. Input equal output. It's only what you put into a child you can get out of them. You are responsible, we are responsible as mothers for our children's behavior, be it good or bad. We have a duty, you have a duty to correct your children's negative behavior and to teach him or her the right way. Too many times, parents make excuse for their child. Oh, he got that from me. Yeah, I was just like that when I was their age. Yes, he did. And yes, you maybe were just like that. But that doesn't make the action okay. That shouldn't be acceptable. You should want your child, we should want our children to be better than we were. That was my focus for my children. Someone asked me before, so what makes your children more special than other people's children that you have to stay home, or what made them what would make them better? Something like that they asked me, and I told them, it wasn't even about other people's children. It was about me. I wanted them to be better than me. I wanted to give them what I didn't have in terms of that attention. I wanted to be able to breastfeed my children. I wasn't breastfed. So there's certain things that I wanted to give my children at an early age that I didn't have because my mother worked. And I knew that being home with them, they would have that, feel secure and have that emotional, especially emotional security. Proverbs 13:24. He that spares his rod hates his son, but he that loves him chasten him early. So you don't wait until the child is grown to try and correct him. You nip it in the bud very early. When you see the yank away and the you correct it very early. You don't laugh and say, oh look. No, that's a character trait. And if you don't correct it, then the child will continue to do it. They'll think it's okay. Proverbs 19:18. Chasten your son while there's hope, and let not your soul spare for his crying. Don't get concerned if they're crying. You correct them. Proverbs 20:11. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his works is pure and whether it be right. A child is known by their doing. You can tell by the actions of the child what the child can turn out to be and what the child will do. So that's why when you see it, you need to correct it right away. You don't say, oh, that's how you can see how he can go up to be, and you don't bring correction to it. You don't stir them away from that action. No, that's not right. That's not how you should behave. Proverbs 29:17. Correct your son, and he shall give you rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto your soul. You see, you correct your son, and you don't have to be up and down to the police station or up and down to the prison trying to get him some food. You could give your child correction while they're young, and you could be able to sleep good at night. You don't have to be concerned about where the child is. You understand? Proverbs 29:15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself will bring his mother to shame. And too many children are being left to themselves. Too many children are not being trained correctly, given instructions, sitting them in front of the TV, sitting them in front of their games, letting the fallen stars raise your children. Correct your child's behavior at home, so when they go out, they will know how to conduct themselves. Do not permit them to have whatever they want at home. Do not give into their cries when you take something from them at home, or don't permit them to have something they want. Do not wait until you're out in public and the child is misbehaving and you are embarrassed, and you punish the child more severely than he deserves out of your anger and embarrassment. Train them at home on how they're to conduct themselves. Talk to them. I don't know why people think children, because they're children, they stay silly. Children understand very well. They are little people. Talk to them and teach them the right way that they are to behave at home. And then when they go out, they'll know how to behave. Teach your child the right character traits, manners, and respect for each other in the home. Don't encourage them to be fighting and fussing and shouting at each other at home or at you, the parents. And then when they go out, they'll have respect for the elders and other people they meet outside in the community. Teach them how to communicate respectfully at home. Learn to talk to each other without raising your voice or saying negative things, calling each other names. Teach them how to clean after themselves. Give them chores in the house and around the yard. My children had chores very young. Very young. They were folding up clothes when they must be 3 or 4. Teach them how to work hard so that they will understand the importance of working for what they need. My children had to get up in the morning and do their chores. I made them go outside and do little work around the yard when they were younger. Teach them that they are a student and that it is their job to go to school and pay attention to the teacher. I told my children that one spank, 3 years old, each of them. And I explained to them that they are a student. When they come home, Mommy, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go to school. You are a student. Your job is to go to school and learn. My job is to go to work and take care of you. I had that conversation with them that one time. They remember that. Because when I did it with Joshua, Ariel was able to tell Joshua, oh, I remember that. Mama used to tell us all the time, charity begins at home and ends abroad. This is very important. Teach your children about friendship. Ecclesiasticus 6 and 7, if you would get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. The minute, we have children go, the minute they meet them, oh, Mommy, that's my friend, that's my friend. You have to teach them different. Don't let your children grow up thinking that everyone who smiles in their face and everyone who come talk to them is their friend. 1 Corinthians 15 and 33, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. Too many children are being led away and destroyed by the quote-unquote friend. Teach your children early that they are their own friend first. And if they have a friend, that they should look, and if they must have a friend, what they should look for in a friend. Teach them to stay away from their peers who do not listen to their teacher, who are not kind to other children, who take other children's things, who like to fight, who are talkative and disruptive in class, etc. You have to teach your children what it is, the character of a friend that they should have. And if you see your child getting too close to another child that is rude or displays a negative attitude, forbid them to have any association with the child. Don't let somebody else who ain't training their child ruin your child. And if your children are bringing things home from school, for heaven's sake, make them take it back. Do not encourage your children to take gifts from the quote-unquote friend at school. I had a parent one time tell me when the child was bringing home Game Boys that she thought that I was giving the child the Game Boy as a gift for doing well in school. Never came. All the while the child was stealing all the children's games and taking them home. Have rules in your home and ensure that your child obey the rules. My children had rules. I stick them up on the wall for them to see when they come home what they're supposed to do, and I made reference to those rules. Teach them to obey the rules in their school. Teach them to obey the laws of the land. Responsible parents do not encourage their children to be lawless. And too many children, especially teenage days, they grow up and they don't think they have to obey the law because you didn't give them instruction to force them to obey the rules in their home. Too many children are suffering because of their parents, are not giving them wise counsel and instructions. Talk to your children. Ecclesiasticus 7:23 and 24. Have you children? Instruct them and bow down their neck from their youth, from their young. Make them obey. Have you daughters? Have a care of their body and show not yourself cheerful towards them. Teach your daughters how to take care of their bodies and how to adorn themselves modestly. Teach your daughters to value the value of being chaste and pure. Stop trying to be your children's friend. Mother, stop trying to be your daughter's little friend, giggling and laughing and acting like you all went to preschool together. See, the scriptures say, do not show yourself cheerful towards them. You are the mother, the parent. I tell my daughters, that for you and your friends. Your child, do you check your look, check your tone. Not your friend. Allow your children, do not have inappropriate conversations with them or in front of them. Allow your children to be children and help them to enjoy their childhood so that when they grow up, they will be well-rounded, responsible adults and not childish adults. Let them be children while they're children. And so that's why we have so many grown-ups now. They act like children. I want to encourage mothers who are in an abusive situation. And the Ruah reminded me of this that day. And if you have to leave with your children. Do not leave your children in an environment that was not good for you. In Genesis 21, when Abram sent Agar away with Ishmael, we are told in verse 17 that Yah heard the voice of the child and sent an angel to help. If you are in need and you have to leave and you're in need, people will help you and bless you and give to you just for the sake of your children. Do not leave your children. Too many women decide to leave and child. Take your child. If it wasn't good for you, the chances are it ain't good for the children. Not because you are single means your children have to be a statistic. They have this thing that all single mothers, their children turn out this way and their children turn out that way. My mother was a single mother, raised 4 daughters. None of us were teenage pregnancy. My mother told me I waited till I was old to have children because I was 28 when I had my daughter. I was married for 6 years at the time too. So your child don't have to be statistics. Do not allow your children to be around negative people, and especially people you know don't care for you. I don't know why we do that. If you know the people ain't like you, why you think they can like your child? Keep your children to yourself. Do not allow people to speak negative things over your children. Guard over your children like a mother and guards over her chicks. Protect their minds, body, and spirit at all costs. Mothers with young babies, do not allow just anyone to hold your infant child. Spirits transfer. Sometimes you see these babies crying and can't stop crying, and all of a sudden they sound like a little funny because you then let some strange person or some person with some filthy spirit hold your baby and transfer it to your child. Nobody could hold my children, child. One woman told my ex-husband, she wants to see my baby, but I wouldn't put the baby down. My infant child in the church nursery, they wanted me to take my baby to the nursery and leave it there and go up in church and cast the spirit. I told them, no. If my child had to go to the nursery, I go into the nursery with her. And she got upset because I saw her used to come peeping and I was always there with my baby. And if she had a right heart, why I had to leave my baby for her to hold my baby? Why she couldn't come to me to see my baby? And he took her to the light and come and tell me that. So I took her to the light and telling him, if she want you, tell her she can have you, but she can't have my baby. Certain things I don't play with. Before I go, I have to say this to mothers. Stop taking strange men into your home around your children. Too many teenage girls are being molested by their mother's quote-unquote boyfriend. You don't know these men. You just meet the man 3 days ago, 3 months ago. Why you think you know this man? And you could take him to live in the house with you and your children. How could you accept the word of a man over your child if the child say that the man doing something inappropriate with them? How do you believe this strange man over the claims of your child? We have to make better choices when it comes to what or who we allow our children to be exposed to. We have stop allowing your children to see you interacting with so many different men. Besides from my children that they saw me interact with one man. And I had to make it clear to him. Very clear. And that was short-lived. Because you can make me miserable and you're not going to make my children miserable. You are your children's first teacher, their first introduction to life. Be a good example for your children. Do what is right in front of them. In 1999, I wrote a poem called My Millennium Prayer. The following is a voice from that poem. That men, women, fathers, mothers, teachers, preachers, political leaders, and all others would remember the children, who are our responsibility, not commodity. And every decision, choice, and mistake we make affects them. For they are our little darlings, our gifts from God, the future of our country. That it is only what we put into them that we can expect to get out of them. That we would realize that they need more than just name brand clothes and toys, but protection, attention, affection, care, and love. That we would protect and pray for them, cover them in the blood, not abuse and molest them. This is my millennium prayer. I wrote that in 1999 and it's still very true today. Ecclesiasticus 16:1-3 says, Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in wicked sons. Though they multiply, rejoice not in them. Accept the fear of Yah, be with them. Trust not in their life, neither respect their multitude. For one that is better than 1,000, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are wicked. You decide whether your child is a blessing or a curse. It makes no sense having children if you are not going to train them the right way. The only way the fear of Yah can be in your children is if you put it there at a very young age. You cannot wait until your children's character is already formed to start giving them instructions. From the child comes out of the womb, you should start training and instructing that child so that it will be a blessing to you and not a curse. Only you can decide which it will be. Only you can decide whether your child is going to be a blessing or a curse to you. What you put into your child, how you train your children, how you give them instructions will decide whether they are a blessing and a curse. Let's start teaching our children the right way. Let's start training them in the ways of Yah, mothers. Shalom.